Hey Campagna T-Rex fans, Todd Kerber here. Today's subject, I'm going to change the reverse gear oil in my 2007 1400R. Owner's manual calls for every 3,000 miles to do this. Before we get started, I want to talk about a few things. So this is the forward reverse lever that's cabled to the reverse gearbox. Notice I've got a little pad down here. That lever used to hit that pad when I'd push it into forward gear. During my riding on the Smoky Mountains, this slipped out of gear twice. First time I thought I broke my chain. I didn't know what it was. I stopped. I finally figured it out and then pushed it back down. Rick Higgins showed me how to adjust this so it was up off this, because it wasn't fully engaged. When I push it down, it would hit that pad and the fiberglass, and I wouldn't totally be solidly in forward gear. So this is the cable where it goes into the gearbox, right down there. And this, when you push the lever down forward, it goes into the gearbox this way. And when you pull it in reverse, it pulls it back out that way. So the way that Rick told me to adjust this are these two bolts here. If I can get my hand down on it, that one right there, and then this one over on the other side. Sorry, the lighting isn't real good, but there's a nut on both sides of that. And basically what I had to do was move this cable that way, so when I push the lever down, I was fully engaged and it wasn't bottoming out on that pad. That adjustment did fix my problem, and the rest of the trip that never slipped back out of forward gear. Second thing I want to talk about are guys, some people having trouble putting it into reverse gear. If you're hearing knock, 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 you are ramping a plate inside the gearbox. Wayne Goodridge helped me and guided me through, even did some work. I went up and saw him. So I understand now how the planetary gear moves back and forth when you move this lever. But if you're hearing that knock, you're caught in between the forward and reverse gear, if you will. There's a plate. When you pull this up, the planetary gear moves onto a plate. And if you're hearing knock, 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 you're ramping that plate, and eventually if you ramp it too much, it won't stay in and won't hold. So don't do that. Couple tips: I start and stop my machine in first gear. Make sure that I always park in either forward or reverse gear. And if I ever start to hear that knocking where the planetary gear is between forward and reverse, I immediately pull it back, get it into one or the other. When you move this lever forward or reverse, when the engine's running, don't use any throttle. If it won't go easily into forward or reverse, just use a little bit of clutch. No throttle again, just ease that clutch out a little bit, move it slightly while you're pulling on this for reverse or pushing on it for forward, and it should slide right in. I'll insert a couple key photos when I rebuilt my reverse gearbox, showing the plate for reverse, what it should look like, what the bad one is with ramping, maybe the planetary gear, and a couple other key parts so you can visualize. Also want to mention again, since I am working on the reverse gearbox today, changing the oil, is this vent. This bladder expands, erection when it gets hot. These are common to the 2021 model and over. I mentioned this on my other video. 2007 to say 2012 had a hose running off this vent over here, up this bar, then back here, all the way back in the back. Probably about 2-3 foot of hose. And if you fill the reverse gearbox oil up too high and it heats up, it'll actually spray all over the back of your machine. So this way it's all contained. I love this new Duran burn sign at Trek Site has these, and for the setup it does fit, and it's easy mod that works well. Obviously cleaner, gets rid of a bunch of hose too. I think I've got a photo of this thing getting erection in the Smoky Mountains after a ride. I'll insert here so you can see it. Back to the task at hand, draining and refilling reverse gearbox oil. Remove the left side GV bag. Remove top fill vent bolt, 14 millimeter. Get your oil drain pan ready and remove the bottom drain bolt here. Also on my 2007 1400R, 14 millimeter. I like to use a ratchet with a short extension. Gear oil draining. There's only about 7 to 10 ounces in the reverse gearbox. Take your time, let that drain completely. Mine does not have a magnet on the bottom. Kind of wish it did to collect any metal shavings. Washer was stuck on the bottom of the gearbox, so it does have one. Both top and bottom. Checking the oil for any metal shavings of any kind, and I do not see any, which is good. Make sure you recycle your used oil. Don't dump it out on the ground. Let that drain really good till no more drips coming out. Then put the bottom drain bolt back in, torque to 22 foot-pounds. This is my setup to do it. Extension, 14 millimeter socket. This is the gear oil I use. Royal Purple Synthetic Max Gear SAE 75W-90. The new ones have a green gear oil, which is much easier to see in the window. If I were to do again, I might try those colors, because a lot of this dark purple matches the metals in the window, so it's harder to see. But I've got a bunch of this, so that's what I use. I use a tube to fill mine. You want to put one end inside the fill hole of the reverse gearbox and the other one on top of the gear oil bottle. Tube is inside the top of the gearbox, and then I run it up here behind so it's easier to put the bottle on. Here's your window. Hopefully you can see this. I'll try to point to it right there. My 2007 doesn't have any marks on it, so I'll go to about 3/4 of the window. Gear oil is entering. Stop when it gets up to the 3/4 mark inside. Owner's manual says 7 ounces to 10 ounces. Be patient, it does take a while. Gearbox is full. I filled it a little too full. There was a little bit left in the tube, and it ran it up right to the top of the window. So mine's a little full, but obviously I'm not going to take the drain plug out and drain a little bit. It'll be all right. It's just a little on the high side. Put your top fill bolt in, torque to 14.5 pounds. Torque wrench with 14 millimeter socket. Clean everything up with a rag. Put the left GV bag back on. All done. This will be my 40th fun and informative Campagna T-Rex video. I've got them all on my YouTube page in a playlist under Campagna T-Rex, so they're all easy to find, whatever you're looking for. If you like this video, want to see more of it, please subscribe, thumbs up, and share. Thanks for watching.